Africa. The land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we covered it all in blood. Tell me why we wallow in the mud. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. Kayora, Nisambo Katigi, Kayora, Nisambo Katigi, Kayora, Nisambo Katigi, Kayora. Tell me why you fight. Tell me why we fight. Tell me why you fight. Tell me why we fight. The land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we covered it all in blood. Tell me why we wallow in the mud. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. The land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we covered it all in blood. Tell me why we wallow in the mud. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, 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 Africa. Africa.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are streaming from. You are live on Papa Lord Radio. My name is Patience Tani Awune. You can call me Tanzi, baby. We are streaming live on all social media pages at Papa Lord Radio and Northern Tales TV. Like, share, and comment.
Africa, yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, Africa.
This is a Northern Tales program, and the purpose of this program is to promote the culture of the northern region, food and music.
Africa.
This program will be aired every Saturday from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock
The land is good.
p.m.
It's fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight, we cover it all in blood. Tell me why.
This song is from Riala, the pride of
Africa, 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 yeah.
Riala is from Wa,
We cry for peace.
part of northern region.
Africa. The land is good, the land is fine. Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yet we fight.
My guest is seated, but before I introduce him, we'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back.
Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa.
Papa Lord Radio. Straight up.
Fancy, my name na fancy, fancy. Tell them Tracy.
Papa Lord Radio. Straight up.
I, a customer, I love your costume. Customer, you make her confused. Customer, mambola perfume. A perfume, check and ballin' bedroom. Your body amazing me. I gonna love to keep you so close to me. I'm in love with your company. I gonna make you secretary for my company. That thing when you do me the last time, make you do me the same thing. That thing really got me thinking. Maintain the same thing. That thing really got me thinking. You my messiah, my heart desire. Continue loving, no tire. I will love you to the end of time. I'll be having see the bajo, the nyama. You see the bajo, the nyama. city bajo, the binyama. We are the city bajo, the binyama. A customer, I love your costume. Customer, you make her confused. Customer, mambola perfume. A perfume, check and ballin' bedroom. From the first day when me see you, girl, I swear you caught my interest. You got a beautiful business on your body, me want to invest. Girl, me right to me fell in love with you, it's the deepest. And I promise you, girl, there would be no next. Wanna make you me first. Girlie, from Lagos to Tamale, see the girl and just it. Alele, them they call them Fadede. If I finish with you, I'm a Wadele. Girl, I promise I will give a better you. And now you know that you don't want another you. Girl, I say I will just give a better you. Can I get your number? Can I get your number? I do it for my G-Wagon.
I'm back.
She talk, say she see Python. When she come to talk, come and see jargon.
You are welcome back once again.
Customer, what's that? Customer.
Our guest is Chief Baba Sakpare.
Angela, $1. I film the million Get them fancy, prefix. It's a tanga. Ayi yalani anche kambro. Ayi yalani anche kambro. Ayi yalani anche kambro. Ayi yalani anche kambro. Ayi yalani ansamo sweet.
Okay, take a seat and get to know our guest. As I said, his name is Baba Sakpare. He's a chief, and he is a prolific Ghanaian writer who pursued and obtained diploma in adult education from the University of Ghana, Legon, working as a community change agent with Christian Council of Ghana, did interest him to further pursue a Bachelor of Education in Guidance and Counseling from the University of Education, Winneba.
Today that kanda, Buruzo that kanda, the paladam kanda, Dajim that kanda. Today that kanda, Buruzo that kanda, the paladam kanda, Dajim that kanda. Sonkani baby sonkani yama sonkani yama sonkani baby sonkani baby sonkani yama sonkani.
He also proceeded to the same university in different faculty to study to obtain a Master of Education in Counseling and Psychology. Chief Baba Sakpare has taught at the basic and secondary level as well as College of Distance Education, University of Cape Coast, Gambaga Center as Guidance and Counseling Tutor.
Baby, are you
Chief Baba Sakpare is a former municipal guidance and counseling, music and cultural coordinator both in East Mamprusi Educational Directorate. He is currently the regional music and cultural coordinator at the Northeast Regional Education and Directorate, Wale Wale. Are you ready for our guests? Hello, Chief. Before we start, I would like us to do the needful. Let our people know that it's truly and not na Momprusi man sitting here with us. So I would like you to greet my listeners in your language.
wuntangwa da nan dalire ka nchanante jipane nzange tetada ngursia ndesha ku korsha yanku wumno mampole ka agufo bayerne baba sakpare kan kanyirbo mi mapam ama nam yure mbatungrana.
Okay. Today we are talking about culture, and then we are going to detailed Damba Festival. This man here just arrived this morning from the north just because of this program. It's very important. He loves culture. He loves to sell our culture. So he is here to talk to us about culture and then to detail Damba Festival. Chief.
Yes.
I would love to ask you to tell us definition of culture in general.
Culture. When we are talking about culture, then we are talking about the way of life of a particular group of people or community.
Okay.
That inculcates how we dress, how we sing, how we dance. It encompasses everything that we do within the geographical setting, including festivals such as Damba Festival, Fire Festival, Yam Festival, a whole lot.
Okay. Thank you. So today, as I said, I want to know more about Damba Festival. The same thing I believe my listeners will be eager to hear from you what Damba Festival is all about.
Okay. When we are talking about Damba Festival, it's one of the festivals that are being celebrated by the people of the Mole Dagbani, not just Mamprisis, but we're talking about Mole Dagbani in general. By Mole Dagbani, I mean the Mamprisi, the Dagombes, the Musi, and the Nanumbes. They constitute the Mole Dagbani people because they are all descendants of Na Bewa. And Na Bewa gave birth to so many people, including Tohugu, Sitobu, Mantambu, Zrili, Kufo, a whole lot of. We're not here to mention the names of the children of Na Bewa, but we're here to talk about culture, specifically Damba Festival.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. So we'd love to know, how is Damba Festival celebrated, or how did it come about?
Okay. People have diverse reasons why we celebrate Damba Festival and how we celebrate Damba Festival. Damba Festival is, we say Damba Festival, that is in Dagbani, but if it is Mampuli, we say Damma. Damma.
Okay.
It varies. The pronunciation varies according to Dagombes and then the Mamprisis, as well as the Wala people. The Dagomba will say Damba Festival. We Mamprisi will say Damba Festival, and the Wala people will say Dumbo Festival.
Wow.
So it varies.
Okay.
So we say Damba Festival. So the Damba Festival, it is originally a traditional and religious festival. Because it is a religious festival because it is celebrated to mark the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhim salatu wassalam, the seal of all prophets. So that was the time they gave birth to Prophet Muhammad. So the Muslims celebrate the Damba Festival to mark the birth of the Holy Prophet. That is what the Muslims call Maulid al-Nabi. Maulid al-Nabi, marking the birth of the Holy Prophet. So that is the religious perspectives. When we come to our side as Mamprisis, initially, before you be able to own a particular geographical environment, you need to conquer people. That is embarking on war. So when you embark on war and you are able to conquer, then that particular geographical setting becomes your outfits, your jurisdiction.
Okay.
So as at that time, they used bows and arrows. They used spears to go for war. So when they use spears and go for war, they will fight and conquer and owns within that geographical environment. The people will give up, and that becomes part of their catchment area. So during that time, when they were fighting, they used spears. And these spears, when they go and defeat and come back, they will have to celebrate.
Okay.
So that calls for the celebration of Damba Festival. So within the Mampurgu, when they are going to celebrate the Damba Festival, you will see that we have some particular chiefs that will come out using the spears and the arrows to dramatize, to portray how the great grandfathers fought and conquered for the Nairi. So when we come to Mampurgu, we are celebrating the Damba Festival. You see the Gambarana, who is one of the sub-chiefs of Mampurgu. Then you see the Zandurana, who is one of the sub-chiefs of Mampurgu. Then you see Panamasu. They name him Panamasu because of the spear. The spear, we call it Pane.
Pane, okay.
So they call him Panamasu.
Okay.
So these three people, they will come out with the spears to dance, dramatizing to portray how they went for the war and conquered. So they will have to start from the forecourt of the Naire Palace and dance from that place up to where the overlord will be seated, that is Naire. When they get to him, then they will have to scream, "Hoo, hoo!" by raising the spear to signify that they fought and they succeeded to conquer other places, which is now part of Mampurgu. So that is how they celebrate. And in the process of celebration, the Gongon beaters, they will come out to do appellations, songs of appellations, starting from Nagbewa up to the current chief, the current overlord.
Okay.
Under normal circumstances, that is how they're supposed to do it.
Okay.
But if they are starting from Nagbewa, and they are even starting from the morning, by evening they will not finish. So because of that, they have to go somewhere and start. They can start from Napari or Na Salma, thereabouts coming. So by tradition, we expect the Gongon beaters to know all chiefs that were enskined from Nagbewa time up to the current overlord, who is Nairi, that is Nabohaga Mahami Abdullah Sherga the second. So they'll have to sing songs of appellation from each and every chiefs till they reach the current chief. And these three chiefs that I have mentioned, the Gambarana, the Panamasu, and the Zandurana, they will come out and dance. Gangane, we call it Gangane.
Okay.
To portray our culture.
Okay.
And Nairi was the first son of Nagbewa. So by tradition, the Nairi is the elder, followed by Ndan Yana, who is the second born of Nagbewa.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
And that is how the Mampursi celebrates Damba Festival.
Okay. So what is, okay, you've already told us why you celebrate it.
Yeah.
So what does the youth get in terms of like after celebrating or during the festival?
If you're talking about how the youths, what they get during the celebration, It means therefore that you are calling for the importance of Damba Festival. Good. If I'm getting you right, when we're talking about the importance of Damba Festival, it is a festive occasion that calls for gathering. So when people are gathered, it means therefore that people who are even far away outside the country, they will have to come home to celebrate this festival. People who are down south during this particular festival, they will have to come down to celebrate the festival. So in that case, we will say that it fosters unity and solidarity. That is one.
Okay.
And people coming together from diverse places, different geographical environment coming, when they come together, then they share ideas. They share ideas from, people have different point of view based on their geographical locations. For instance, if you have twins who are from the same mother, then one is brought up in, let's say, Accra, the other person brought up from Boku, for example. Definitely, because of their geographical differences, they will be influenced based on the environment in which they are coming from.
Yeah.
So when they come together, they share ideas. So we can say that Damba Festival brings about diverse ideas from different people.
Okay.
We can also talk about Damba Festival also brings about unity. It brings about unity. And Damba Festival also made people who are just same blood miss each other for a long time. It enables them to know each other. Because of the festival, you might not know your relative, but coming together will necessitate you or someone introducing the person to you. So it calls for knowing one another.
Okay.
So these are some of the importance of festivals that we can talk about. You can also learn more about the culture. People who are far away, who doesn't know anything about the culture, when they come together, they have access to listen and question people to know much about the culture.
Okay. Thank you. My next question is, how long has the Damba Festival been celebrated?
How long has the Damba Festival been celebrated? This is a nice question. If we are going to talk about how long Damba Festival is celebrated, then we were talking about the time that this Nigeria Sans split it, when they migrated from Pusiga and they have to come down all the way from Pusiga to Tosik. There is one community in the Bimoba land we call Tosik. That is how the Bimoba call it. But we call it Mampurugu. My listeners outside there will be getting confused about something. I need to clear out something.
Okay.
When we are talking about Mampurugu, Mampurugu is the catchment area of the people speaking Mampuli.
Okay.
But there is another community in Mampurugu called Mampurugu.
Hey.
Yes. People might not know this. That's why I have to take my time to explain better.
Okay.
If I say they move, when they left Pusiga, they came and settled at Mampurugu. That Mampurugu is what the Bimoba call Tosik.
Okay.
So if I say Mampurugu, some will be getting confused. Mampurugu stands for the geographical location where people are speaking Mampuli.
Okay.
That's the Mampurugu.
Okay.
But we also have a town called Mampurugu,
Okay.
which is a hidden name. They
Wow.
call it Tosik, but we
Okay.
call it Mampurugu.
Okay.
So in literature, we have something that we call pan. Pan simply means play upon words. The words used will have the same meaning but different sound, or the same sound but different meaning.
Okay.
So depending on the context in which you are using it. So they left Pusiga, they came and settled at Mampurugu, and that is Tosik.
Okay.
It was Tosik that they now split it. Then they asked the Tohugu asked the younger brother to cross the white volta and go and sit at you. And that is where we call Savulgu. Present Savulgu is called you.
Okay.
That is why they don't call Savulgu now, but they say Yona.
Okay.
That place is called you.
Okay.
So Tohugu asked him to cross the white volta and go and settle at you. So it was then he settled at you, and he also started conquering through wars and settled at Yane. So he was able to conquer from you up to Yane. That is Yendi. So he came back and told the senior brother that now I am also strong. I'm now strong because I have been able to capture from you up to Yane. In Mampole, we will say that Pampangwa mayi nyara ya. So manya ya ma mena halle inchangan tijin walgo.
Okay.
So the elder brother said, Dungwana Pampangwa iranka yuna inyara yana.
Okay.
That is where we had yana.
Yana.
Pampangwa iranka yuna inya yana.
Okay.
That's where Yendi also came from.
Wow.
So when they started splitting that way, and the youngest among them, who is at Bimbala, because he was the youngest, they say Biblana. Bimbila.
Wow. So
that was when they started celebrating Damba Festival.
okay.
But in another scenario, they said na atabesa ka topu da nam yato adabeni. There was some misunderstanding between some chieftaincy issue that one of them have to come for enskinment for na atabe to resolve the issue. So after resolving that particular issue, that was where they also started Damba Festival. That calls for celebration.
Okay. So how many days do they use to celebrate Damba Festival?
Depending on the tribe.
Oh, okay. So we are talking about
Normally, if we are talking about the Mampursi, we use 2 days to celebrate our Damba Festival.
okay.
But as a result of modernity, sometimes they have to add certain things to make it more lucrative.
Okay.
But normally we use 2 days to celebrate. We have the Nachima Damba, which is celebrated a day before the Nadamba. Then the Dagombes, they have the Somo Damba, and they have Nadamba, and they also have Belon Kulsi.
Okay. My next question is, what are some of the key rituals and traditions associated with the Damba Festival?
The rituals and traditions associated with the Damba Festival.
Yeah.
Well, when they are going to do the Damba Festival, normally it calls for enjoyment. We have to drink, we have to eat, then we have to dance. So because of that, they have to appease the gods by slaughtering certain animals. So as far as Mampurgu is concerned, when they are going to slaughter the Damba cow, they will slaughter it in our house, that is Mbasakware house.
Okay.
So when they slaughter it there, they have to skin the animal, prepare the meat, and distribute to the elders. We have the 7 elders. We have the Tarana, the Sakpari, the Sakpanaba, Wodana, Patirana, Panamasu, Akara. And another one will be slaughtered at the chief palace, and they will have to prepare Zukumna.
What is Zukumna?
Zukumna means pito.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, when we come by tradition, we have to drink, we have to eat. So this will be prepared so that when we take it and we are dancing, we don't feel shy. But some of us who are natural, anything goes. Whether you take something or you don't take something, it flows.
Okay. All right. Could you describe the preparation that goes into organizing and celebrating the Damba Festival?
Well, when we are talking about the preparation towards the Damba Festival, the Dak will usually say that it is the children that knows the way. And Nelson Mandela will also say that leaders lead from behind. They only take the front line when there is danger, and people will appreciate their leadership. What they usually do, or what we usually do, is that we leave the preparation in the hands of the youths.
Okay.
So when it is getting closer, they will have to organize themselves by calling a meeting, writing letters, inviting all paramount, divisional, sub-chiefs, and all sort of indicating the day that this festival will come. Then they will have to buy millets that they will use to prepare the pito,
Okay.
buy firewood, and also allocate committees. We have planning committee, we have food committee, accommodation, and all sort of.
Okay.
So that when people are coming, then they will know whatever they need, they know who to contact. So this committee will be responsible for everything that is involved. Then taking into consideration support from people who have interest, not people who have. People might have but will not be willing to support. People who have interest to support, they usually support. So at the end of the day, they will, whatever they spend and whatever is remaining, they will account for it.
Okay.
And that's how we usually do it.
Okay. Please, what role does music and dance play in Damba Festival?
What role does music and dance play in Damba Festival? Yeah, when we cannot talk about Damba Festival without talking about music and dance. You remember I said culture is the way of life of a particular group of people that constitute the way we sing, the way we dance. The drummers, by tradition, we call them our wives.
The drummers.
Yes, we call them our wives.
Okay.
There was one time I was in Tamale moving with a friend. Then one man came and squat and greeted. So I gave him money and he left. Then my friend asked, do you know this man? I said, yes, I know him. But we are both strangers. How do you know him? I said, that's a Gongom Bita. Then someone was saying, I said, wow, you are really a chief.
So
that is our area, Luna,
okay.
the chief Gongom Bita. Because he squat and said, Anyidana, my husband. So we call them our wives.
And they call you husbands.
So
why?
So what happened is when we are talking about the singing, that has to do with appellations. So myself as a chief, when they see me and they pretend not to see me, it's like I'm not being honored.
Okay.
Because they are supposed to let people know the sort of person I am by calling my appellation, songs of appellation.
Okay.
So that someone sitter will know that, yeah, this person is from this area.
Okay.
So their duty is to identify us to unknown people whenever we are in a gathering by using the songs of appellations.
Okay.
Then the drumming sometimes they use the drum to do the appellations instead of using their mouths. So music and dance, they are integral part of Damba Festival. Without music and dance, then we don't talk about Damba Festival. Yeah, so that is how music and dance will talk about as far as their role is concerned when we're talking about Damba Festival. They are
Okay,
crucial. So you getting what I'm trying to say?
Our nation, Zapatino, Blue Beat, Amzilla, Silla Highland Passport. Yo. Hey, I'm the son and Sumsuma, Iguaje, my son and Tilugama, Manya to the landing, one be and dema, Woyo, hey, Woyo, my Sum says someone is Sumsuma, and you want is the Masawan and Tabagama. Hallelujah, box of landing, one be and dema. Hey, someone was that I was another one of ballet. Woyo, hey, Woyo, hey, Woyo, hey, up to some sea, son of some summa, Amba money, Yao son of manama, Manyan some money, and then a bakani, one shema, Tommy Kalafu, Katam the Biabu no don't change it. Cause what goes around comes around in life, nothing is permanent. Hi, Utamia, Hankali Barana. Kabulodo, Obuzugu, Badalato, Yuluzugu. Badalato, Yuluzugu. Babulodo, Obuzugu, Badalato, Yuluzugu. Badalato, Yuluzugu. It don't look at it, I can't do what you tell me. In the phone to is a thing I'm not being
Okay, Chief, please can you tell us about some of the traditional instruments used during the Damba Festival?
Oh, okay. When we are talking about the traditional instruments that's used during the Damba Festival, we are talking about the lunsi. We have the lunda and we have the lunyanga. The one that produce high sound and the one that produce low sound. We have those that project sound that give us the appropriate modulation in terms of the sounding.
Okay.
So the smaller ones and the bigger ones. So the lunda is what they use to do appellation.
Okay.
And the gungongo, that is the very big one, is what they integrate to the lunda and the lunyanga that produce quality sounds in a way that makes it danceable.
Okay. The Damba Festival is known for its colorful and vibrant attire. Can you explain the significance of the clothing worn and then by a particular participants during the festival?
Yeah. When we are talking about the costumes that we use to celebrate the Damba Festival, then we're talking about the smokes. So the smokes, they are also into categories. And once they are into categories, it is worn depending on the personality of the person. We have the short sleeves that we call dansiki,
Okay.
which could be worn by any other person, like an ordinary person who is not a chief. Nobody restricts such a person from participating in the Damba Festival. Then we have the long sleeves smoke, that is bungma, which could be at just a little bit beneath waist level. Then we call it jeans wear, which will also be worn by any other person for the festive occasion. Then we have the bungma, which is longer than the jeans wear, which is supposed to be worn by chiefs. I'm centering on Mampurgu. How we does our thing is different from that of Dagbang and then the Wala people.
Okay.
For us, once the overlord will be there personally, no any other chief, be you paramount chief or divisional chief or sub chief, is expected to dress more than the overlord.
Wow.
Even if you are financially sound and you can buy anything, you can't wear anything when the overlord is around. So when the Nairi is there, we moderate the way we dress. So any other person coming, a stranger, will be able to know who is the authority. That is how we does it.
But what about, is it both men and women, or is only for men?
For the women, they use the kente cloth, and they can wear anything on top, and the headgear accepted.
So them, they are not part of this. Don't dress more than the overlord.
The
They are not part of
overlord,
it.
you as a woman, how will you dress more than the overlord?
Okay. So now, this is smoke. Okay. So is the overlord smoke designed differently and special, or how? Because how will I know? I'm a stranger. I'm coming to see the Damba Festival, witness it. How will I know that I'm not supposed to dress more than, maybe I will just buy a smoke. So I don't know whether it's nice more than.
What he is using is called parkoto.
Okay.
That is a very big one. But normally, he used something that we call gurumusu.
Okay.
It is something that has a hat that when he wears everything, then they will use it to cover him. That distinguishes him from any other person.
Okay.
But he can choose not to use it.
Okay.
So if he want to dress very simple,
Okay.
depending on his choice, you shouldn't dress over as compared to him. That is the difference. And when we are talking about any other attire, that will be the chief warriors. They use different smokes with talismans to signify that they are warriors.
Okay.
So when you see them, you know these people are different from those people.
Okay. So what is the role of traditional leaders and chiefs in the Damba Festival, and how do they participate in the festival?
Yeah. If we're talking about the roles of traditional leaders, depending on the sort of person you're talking about, because we have so many people performing different roles, and other people, they don't have any significant role to play than to participate in just the dancing. So like the chief warriors, their role are to come and demonstrate their dance, possibly use the guns to display. And we have any other people like the Council of Elders, that is the 7 elders I'm talking about. Each and every one of them has a role to play when they are bringing the overlords outside. For instance, Chief Sakpari, his role is to ensure that nothing happens to the skins that overlord is sitting. So you will observe that anytime they are bringing the skins outside, then he must follow it. So he will be seated with the skins before they will bring Overlord out. When they are out, finish whatever they are going to do, and they are sending Overlord inside, he doesn't follow him inside, because he must move in before they will pick up the skins. So he is supposed to wait to ensure that nothing happens to the skins spiritually.
Wow.
That is his role.
Okay, then he must be spiritual.
Well, this one I can't best it.
Okay. Are there any special food or dishes that are prepared and shared during the Damba Festival, and what are the significance?
I said earlier on, festive occasions has to do with let's eat, let's drink, let's dance. So definitely they will have to prepare food, because people will be coming from different geographical environments. Definitely they have to prepare food in larger quantities to distribute to the strangers. Possibly Pito will also be there to serve people in their various houses. And when in the morning they avail themselves to acknowledge their presence for the festival, definitely they will have to give them the Pito.
Okay.
And when you ever have anything to do with the Overlord wives, you can eat from the house.
That
Because-
only that day or any other day?
Not only that day, any other day. If you make a mistake, if you have ever had any affair with Overlord wives, one of them, and you happen to eat food in his house, then you tend to be a history.
You will be dead or mad or what?
I say you will tend to be a history.
Okay. Wow.
Your name will be mentioned, not you again.
Mm.
That is the spiritual implication.
Wow. Okay, then I wish you have more time in Accra. We would have talked about the Nairi and things, but because of time, we'll just do it this way. Okay, so finally, can you share any memories, stories, or experience from the past Damba Festival that highlight the cultural richness of its celebration?
That highlight the cultural richness
Of this celebration.
of this celebration.
Yeah.
Every festival calls for celebration. As I said earlier, previously we celebrated very well, though things were not as we expected, because currently we were not happy because of the Boko incidents. So because we weren't happy about it, thank God Overlord have been able to enskin someone as Boko chief, which is yet to go home, looking up to government intervention. He is the 15th Boko Naba so far being enskinned by the then Overlord of Mampurugu. So he is the right and the actual chief of Boko, because he is the 15th Boko Naba.
Okay. Thank you so much for
And
your
thank
time.
you for thanking me.
We really appreciate. We'll go for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, Baba. Wana wan babangwa. Kaya, 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 kaya. Fuba.
You know this man, right?
I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father. Yaba. Wana wa. Kaya, kaya. Signa. I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father. girlfriend, she can find you. She know she you. She tell me say, if he my father come, if he my father come, I should tell my father, he should put 100,000. Tomorrow morning, she go come and collect. Tomorrow morning, she go come and collect. Signal. My father, the way you do, it is not fine. The way you do, it is not fine. Every day and every night, I suffer money my time. I suffer money my time. The way you do,
It is not fine.
the way you do.
It is not fine. The way you people are doing is not fine at all.
Signal. Father Joy, I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father. I want to see you, my father.
I hope you know this man. That is King Aisoba from Bolaga. Okay, Chief, I've received a copy of your book, so I would love you to tell us more about it.
Okay. The title of the book is Substance Abuse Ruins Your Life.
Okay.
Not just that one, there's another one, Your Personality is Your Choice.
Okay.
But for the substance abuse ruins your life, what necessitated me to come out with this book is that of recent, the issue of substance abuse is too alarming.
Okay.
People are going mad here and there. People are into substance abuse, and it is not helping us at all. The world is now retrogressing. Most of our boys, instead of being in school, you see majority of them into this substance abuse. Not necessarily the boys. I had an experience last 2 weeks in Wale Wale where 6 girls, I met them taking there's one drug called 120. They just use a full capsules of 120 added to alcoholic drink, each and every one, and they just consume it. Another instance at Nalerigu filling station where a guy came to buy fuel. So he just parked the motor because it was busy. He was standing and be sleeping. How can you be standing and be sleeping? And someone secretly videoed him. So all is as a result of this substance abuse.
Okay.
So in my capacity as a counselor, a psychologist, and a social worker, necessitated me to come out with this book so that we use that book to assist people. Sometimes they don't know the adverse implication of what they are doing. So it is important we come out to support them to get out of it. That is why I came out with this book, Substance Abuse Ruins Your Life. In the book, we talk about how drug abuse is all about, then the implication of substance intake, then the parental adjustment. What will parents do so that they will help their wards? Then prevention of substance use disorder. the relationship between drug use and viral infection.
Okay.
If we are into this substance, at the end of the day, you don't know what is going on in you. And by so doing, someone will either you transmit someone with HIV or hepatitis B or the vice versa. So these are some of the reasons why I decided to come out with this book to help the younger generation.
Okay. So how can we get a copy?
Yeah, when you grasp the book, my the publicator, the name and the contact is there. Myself, my name, my contact is there. When you call, wherever you are, we distribute nationwide.
Okay.
So the other book is Your Personality is Your Choice.
Okay.
There's one man who said, your mind is not a standing block. It can be restructured. So you don't base on the fact that you have people in your house who are disturbing you spiritually. You don't have anything in your hands. You can't start anything. At least start something. Start something. Put up your maximum effort. If you don't get at all, at least your daily bread you should be able to get.
Okay.
So if you put a little effort, you'll be somebody in life. That calls for coming out with that book titled Your Personality is Your Choice.
Please kindly put your number on air so that anyone who wants to purchase that book will call you.
So when you are looking for any of the copies, you can quickly reach us on 024 91 01 994.
Again.
024 91 01 994.
Okay.
In simple term, 9/10/1994.
1994.
That's somebody's date of birth.
Yeah. Please, your last words.
I will have to say a very big thank you for selling out the culture and tradition of the Mole Dagbana people to my listeners, and possibly reaching out with my listeners who would definitely get a copy of this substance abuse to change their lives. I appreciate spending a little time with you. Thank you so much.
You are always welcome.
Your girlfriend, she can find you. She knows you. She tell me, say, if my father come, I should tell my father, he should put
100,000. Tomorrow morning, I will come and collect. Tomorrow morning, I will come and collect. So tell your father that he should put 100,000. Tomorrow morning, Thursday, baby, will come and collect. Today. To treat women. Sherifa Gunu is telling you to learn how to treat women. Women are special.
Once upon a time, I was a boy.
Call your don't call. And the opponent. Call to your man.
September 28th,
I hear my phone ringing. I want want to say a very big thank you for Glow Skincare for always making me look beautiful and glowing.
You will be my wife. I will marry you.
I would also like to thank Rahel for my makeup. I'm in love with you, Tiyumba.
You will be my wife.
I will marry you. Oh, Tiyumba. I would also like to thank Sister Ruki for my hair. We appreciate you for making time for us. This is where we end today's edition of the Northern Tales. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Sugulo, dunia lana, nang masugulo.